His eyes are pretty deformed and his ears are kind of covered by the cap. I call that the Helen Keller special. Yeah, just ignore the fact that it looks like a burn ward patient who was put together using only budget stock photos. So as many of you know, and by many I mean the 3 to 5 people who have enough brain damage to think consistently watching my videos is a good idea, I've been using this Minecraft skin for a long time now. Now I think this is a pretty good Minecraft skin overall, but as I'm sure you've noticed, it has like a slight resemblance to another YouTuber, like Technoblade or something, like some pig guy. I don't know, man. He's not very popular. He doesn't really upload anymore. Maybe he's got like something better to do. Right? Technoblade is without a doubt my biggest inspiration. And when I started this YouTube channel, I wanted to be just like him, so I used a similar skin. But that Minecraft skin, it just isn't me. And as much as I like it, I know I wouldn't use it if not for Technoblade. Obviously, I can't really help how I sound. I swear I'm not actively trying to sound like him. That is just how I speak. I am not a Technoblade LARPer. I never have been, I never will be. I personally think it's a bit weird to LARP as someone who not only is dead, but whom I think so highly of. The last guy who did it kind of just stole my color scheme and gained a small 200,000 subscribers in a week, but I would rather be known for being myself, which is another reason for this rebrand. So I've made the decision to rebrand away from the whole pig thing and into something I can see a bit more of myself in. Before I show you the skin, I'm going to tell you a little story. For those of you who didn't know, which is all of you because I haven't spoken about this yet, I love Norse mythology. Norse mythology to me is kind of like what Greek mythology was to Technoblade. So there was this one Norse and Germanic god named Volundr, or Wayland the Smith as he is more commonly known. Now Volundr, he's like this master blacksmith and also prince of the elves, and he's like this big famous guy. He made all the famous things, all the weapons, the armor, they were all made by Volundr. Now one day, Volundr and his brother find these 2 Valkyries in human form. Now Valkyries, they can't just like become swans at will. They need like this magic fursuit to do that. So Volundr and his brother, they decide to join the anti-furry movement, alright? They hate furries now. They hide these swan fursuits, so the Valkyries are forced to stay in human form. And then one of them eventually like marries Volundr, and it's like this big happy marriage for I think 6 or 8 years, I believe. And then this Valkyrie finds her fursuit, and she's just like, sayonara, loser, and dips immediately to go find a big violent battle she can kidnap souls from. So pretty much your average furry convention. And then Volundr enters this like depressed, broody state for a while and just starts making a shit ton of golden rings while waiting for his wife to return. Eventually, these 2 soldiers working for a king who's like not a very good guy, they end up finding Volundr's cabin, and they see these gold rings, and they're like, yo, these are pretty cool. These are some nice gold rings. So they kidnap Volundr in his sleep. They cut his Achilles tendons so he can't walk. And then they put him on an island. And then the king is like, yo, these are some really cool golden rings you got here. Now you gotta make me stuff for absolutely no pay. You can't leave, and also you have no rights. Now Volundr is, understandably, pretty pissed about this. So what did he do? He sits down with the king. They have a nice little heart-to-heart. No, he kidnaps and brutally murders his sons. And so how he does this is he's like, yo, you 2 king's sons, you guys want to see my real treasures? I've been holding back on this king guy. He's a loser, low-key. But you guys, I trust you. We're broskies, you know. Your dad only, like, kidnapped me and permanently crippled my legs. You can come to this island. I'll show you the real deal, all right? And they're like, yeah, we want to see that. And he's like, all right, all you got to do is not tell anyone where you're going. And so these 2 sons, with their survival instinct of a CubeCraft player, they go to this island. They don't tell anyone where they're going. And then Volundr says, okay, so it's right over there in that chest. And so they both open the chest, they look inside, and then he slams the lid down on their heads. And he had previously sharpened the lid of this chest. So it acts like a guillotine, kind of cuts their heads off, and then he turns their skulls into goblets to drink at. And like he does all these things with their body parts. That sounded really, really weird. And then he makes this, like, super advanced fursuit of his own, but with wings, and he kind of just becomes this Timu Icarus, and he flies out of reach of the arrows, and promptly starts mocking the king from the sky. Like, he is talking smack like nobody's business. This king is getting absolutely flamed from the sky, which is where we get one of the most badass lines in the entire Poetic Edna, but it doesn't sound nearly as cool in English, so I'm not going to put it in the video. If you're curious, you can do your own research. And then he promptly flies into the sky, and then in some legends, he's never seen again. In some legends, he goes back to his homeland. It's not really agreed upon where he goes. But he flies off into the sunset, and that's the end of the story. And now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present the second greatest Minecraft skin since canned bread. I'm sorry, but no Minecraft skin could be better than this. Oh my god, look at him. Look at him, he's a beautiful boy. He's a beautiful boy. His eyes are pretty deformed and his ears are kind of covered by the cap. I call that the Helen Keller special. I tried to give him elf ears, but you can't see it very well because he's like the prince of the elves. Don't worry about this black dot. That will be explained later. This on his head is not a helmet. So one thing you should know is kings in ancient Scandinavia, they didn't really wear crowns like they did in Europe. They wore like sometimes decorated helmets, but they were very practical. And so they wore these like thick coats with like all this fur, as you can see, and then they wore these caps that were like decorated with gold and silver. I chose to just do gold. I mean silver, obviously. I can speak English. I am in fact an English speaking individual. And so I put like I made one of their, this is a real style of hat they use where it's like split into 4 segments. That's pretty, it's pretty cool. I also made it like a deep dark blue because aside from just being a really cool color, dark blue was incredibly expensive and incredibly hard to get in ancient Scandinavia. This was like, having dark blue clothes like this is the ultimate flex. This is generational wealth. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, but the attention to detail on this skin is like absurd. Like there's so much attention to detail. I even put the little cut on his Achilles tendon. You can see it leaking blood there. I also tried to make the face and arms look like they were covered in soot from like blacksmithing and stuff, and it ended up just looking like it's been in a concentration camp for 5 weeks. So I just pretend this looks like someone who's been blacksmithing. Oh, but you thought that was all? You thought that was all? No.
Hello there.
That'll be all for today, guys. Like the video if you liked it, but love yourself no matter how many princes you've kidnapped and brutally murdered. And if you enjoyed this content, subscribe and also like get mental help, because this was not an enjoyable video by any means. But first subscribe, because like any good Minecraft YouTuber, I care more about clout than your well-being. Bye.